This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast with yours truly, Trevor. This is Juan, and we is Overreaction Monday. I like this thing. I'm gonna keep on calling it that. Overreaction Monday. Yeah, we're gonna recap the big news that's happening in Week 3 of the NFL season. Before we get started, like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartradio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Radio, at Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. We have a Facebook group. Check us out on Facebook. Sports Dynasty Podcast on Facebook. It's funny in there. It's popping in there. Go check us out.
With that all said, let's start our Week 3 recap. I hope you guys enjoy the show. So let's start off with the useless games, the New York City teams, the Giants and Jets. My God, you guys are really unbearable to see.
Seriously. Like, I can imagine they're angry watching it. I feel bad for some Jets fans, not all of them, because some of them are really, really idiots. But not all of y'all.
I just can't understand how the New York team couldn't.
Oh my God!
They couldn't beat a practice squad 49ers team. I cannot believe it. So we're just getting rid of that right now. So as of this moment, you guys are not getting covered, both Giants and Jets, until you guys give me a reason to. And sorry, you're Giants fans. I told you 3 to 5 games you guys are winning and nothing more. I apologize to you. But that's it. I can't take it anymore. Until you guys give me a reason to not consider you eyesores, I'm not covering your games as of right now. So that's done out the way.
You know what's crazy? No, I think you're being too nice with 3 games. What's the next win? They couldn't even beat a. I know Nick Mullins is the backup quarterback, but to me, he will always be the third string QB. He's always be a third string QB. You couldn't even beat a team of backups. You got blown out. You couldn't beat the practice squad. You got blown out. Look, what are you doing?
But I guess we can talk a little bit about. I know Trevor has a decent amount to say about it, so hopefully he can go ahead and give you guys a little bit of insight. But can't do it no more.
I'm not going to entirely destroy Joe Judge because he just got there, and it's not much he can do with what he has right there. But obviously, they got to figure out what they need. Honestly, Dave Gettleman, I think he's done. I think Dave Gettleman is finished in the MetLife Stadium with the Giants. I think he's finished. And the thing is that they say that for Daniel Jones, they say, Daniel Jones he's made improvement through his going up better than Sam Darnold. And I'm like,
improvement over Sam Darnold? I'm not entirely sure I see that. Not even a little bit. If anything, Daniel Jones looks a little worse. He still has his own turnover over stuff, and then the type of throws he's making are not very good.
Yeah,
at least Sam Darnold doesn't have any talent to throw to. I'm sure you would agree. Well, Joe Judge has no talent, and I guess that is Gettleman's fault, so I guess maybe that's going to happen. I'm not sure they'll pull the plug on it yet. I don't think the Giants are known to give up on their hirings and signings so easily, I guess outside of Ben McAdoo, but that was a really horrible situation. So let's just move on. Yeah. I'm sure the New York fans are going to be migrating to Buffalo probably right as we speak.
Speaking of the Bills, that was a great game last night.
It was a really good game. Let's move on. Tampa Bay. Poor Broncos.
Sucks, Sucks. I mean, that's their preseason game.
Yeah, it basically is another preseason game. Tom has more time to get acclimated. They're going against the backups of the different Broncos, who had a lot of promise coming in, but injury. They caught the injury bug this year, unfortunately. So that's all there is to say about that. There's not much to analyze when not a real football team was trotted out there with a bunch of rookies and whatever. So let's just move on there. The Cleveland Browns. I didn't think that was going to be interesting as it was, but it was. Dwayne Haskins was god-awful and almost unforgivably bad, judging the fact that you decided to be just a turnover-happy guy. What, about 4 to 5 turnovers and 3 interceptions and a fumble, I think? I don't know what to see with him because he had a lot of great throws and then a lot of stupid moments. I don't know how to judge him.
We're still trying to figure that out. Remember last year he was thrown to the wolves. Like, I know on the job training doesn't work for everybody, and they're still going into a transitional period. They don't have a name, for God's sakes. But still, the point is, they're still trying to figure it out. But I'm gonna give Dwayne Haskins the benefit of the doubt now because it's still a learning curve, and I feel that he unfairly be put into the spot and put into the Wolves, into the Lions den so early. But I think right. But so I'll give him a pass for this year because he's still learning. But next year, I don't know. It depends on how many other games that they play, how poorly that they end up. Because it's gonna come again where he's gonna have a really bad performance against a really good team. Because this team's really bad. Well, they're not bad. They're the least bad. They're the least bad of a really really bad division. Because that division is horrible. Damn.
I like the sinking voice there. That division is absolutely god awful. They're third. The Giants are god awful, so they're third in the division. No, I'm lying. They're winning division right now. My bad. But yeah, they are. I guess in that sense, they are what you said they were. But yeah, I was talking about Dwayne Haskins yesterday, and yeah, I think they have to write him out and to see what happens. Hopefully he improves as the year goes on, but that's the only thing you can really think of since the team has no veteranship outside of Carrigan and Thomas Davis and nobody really in the offense. I'm pretty sure Alex Smith trying to take that job, so I don't know if he's helping or not. But there's nothing to really for him to really go back to. So yeah, I guess you're right, 100% correct.
As far as Cleveland, they're over 500 for the first time since 2014.
Oh man, Cleveland.
That's really, really, really horrible. But this Cleveland's team, they did what they had to do. With all this collection of talent, you have to win these games.
Cleveland did what they were supposed to do, so I guess we got what we expected, except it was closer than I thought it would be, at least for most of the game. All they have to do is just give it to the two-headed monster that is Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Yes.
Nick Chubb was absolutely sensational today. He rushed for over 100 yards. And Kareem Hunt got how many carries? 16, and then caught the ball a few times two times. So he had 18 overall carries, while Nick Chubb had 20 overall carries. Nick Chubb rushed for the 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Kareem Hunt caught a touchdown pass. All they have to do is that, combined with play action downfield to Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, and then that's all that has to be done. That's it. Simple. Not like we said that was gonna be the case for their best way to win in our guide to 2020 or anything. Again, listen to us more.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what we have to do. And unfortunately, Odell Beckham had to play defensive back, swatting and a surefire interception downfield. Yeah, that was all over Instagram. So I'm sure everybody heard of that one.
That's pretty horrible. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the Chargers in the next game. All right, so why did Justin Herbert throw 49 times? That many times, you're like almost automatically look like a rookie unless your name is Joe Burrow. He was already ridiculed the whole time throughout this entire offseason, and then Andy Lee himself came out and said that Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter. So why did Justin Herbert wind up throwing 49 times and looking like the way he looked? He was bad. Austin Eckler has no business carrying the ball only 12 times. I know he caught 11 receptions, so he was definitely busy. But those 11 receptions shouldn't have happened. Those should have been carries to let Justin Herbert chill out. That's way too many times. Way too many.
I think when they're up 18-7, they pretty much panic. And I don't know, why are you panicking so early, in the middle of the third quarter? Up down 18-7 is still in reach ball game. I just thought that Auburn going to throw it and see if he can get. And like I said, listen, like you mentioned last week that they played well last week against the Chiefs. But and only the Chiefs. And the other teams they'll just fall back to not too long. Like, pretty much that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, we did kind of call that. That's true. I did say that about the Chiefs and Chargers.
Yeah. And Justin Herbert, honestly, played a rookie, which it's okay. But Anthony Lynn should have done a better job with the play calling and how to manage that game there, because that was pretty bad. There's no need for you to throw 23 times, especially against a Panthers defense that's not good at all. They're not good at all. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't get it.
Yeah, Panthers defense is not good at all. Exactly why he shouldn't have thrown that much in the first place. The fact that he looked like that while throwing that many times against a bottom feed defense, maybe he was right about Justin Herbert's development the entire time. So I guess everybody jumped the gun just because he had one decent game against the Chiefs. So let's chill out. So let's move on. Next game, Titans at Minnesota. The team that couldn't cover a 2.5 point spread and cost me my money. That has nothing to do with this. My bad, guys. Anyway, Let's go on. So, Justin Jefferson almost single-handedly destroyed this Titans defense. Well, they didn't almost. He did destroy this defense single-handedly with 175 yards in the air. By far his best game. Insane. He did it in only 7 receptions, which is the really alarming part, only getting 25 yards a carry. How did you allow 25 yards a catch? That is insane. Another crazy stat is Dalvin Cook averaged 8.2 yards per carry, rushing for over 180 yards and 22 carries. Ridiculous, and that's mind-boggling. So with that all said, the Titans did win this game by 1 point, and Derrick Henry had another decently strong showing. The Titans, if you didn't know this, Trevor, the Titans only won their games by a combined 6 points out of 3 games. If you didn't know this, 1 yesterday against 3 against the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 2, and then 2 against the Denver Broncos in week 1.
Yeah,
Isn't that insane?
it was 3 points to the Jaguars. Yeah, it's 6 points. Yes, 6 points. You're right. 6 points. That's horrible. That's a very very small point difference. The point differential is only +6. That's horrible.
The problem is that this is not sustainable. You can't win all your games like this just trying to win double digits. So they're going to start losing very soon, sooner than everybody thinks.
Who do they have next week? Who do they have next week?
They got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh will be visiting Nashville, man.
Oh yeah, so that's gonna be over soon. Yeah, and that'll be interesting too. Especially it's a rivalry game too, so it's like
It is a
both teams-
rivalry game, old school one. Well, the good news for the Minnesota is that it look like they're getting back on their feet. They showed a pulse. So now Justin Jefferson looking like he might be getting in stride. Maybe either Titans secondary sucks or Justin Jefferson really is starting to make his name.
Know what it is? Know what it is? And I was, how during the draft we was like Justin Jefferson, like, why they pick them for? Like, you could have picked a better receiver to replace Stephon Diggs. And I'm like, yeah, he showed out to that yesterday. Showed out. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's pretty good, pretty good pick. Definitely did show out. But regarding even though they're 0-3, they did show a pulse, and I did say it doesn't mean anything because they are pretty bad. They're pretty bad. But out of all the 0-3 teams, by the time him and Houston, as the 0-3 teams, they're probably 2 of the best 0-3 teams they have available. They're not too terrible. Yeah, Houston and Minnesota, they're not entirely too terrible, but just got let's see. At least we can look at their schedule and say, all right, there's a couple of wins here, there's some wins here. The other teams, not so much. Not so much.
It's funny you mentioned Houston because Minnesota and Houston play next week. So somebody's going to end their losing streak and somebody's going to go 0-4.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Unintentional too, though. That was pretty good, though.
Yeah, I totally didn't set that up. I didn't push it towards that narrative or anything like that. I didn't do that. Whatever. Let's move on to the next game, shall we? And that will be Arizona and Detroit. So, another game that helped me lose my money, but hey, what's stupid about it is that I did say this is going to be tough, did I not? I believe last week I did say as long as the cornerbacks from Detroit are going to be healthy, they're going to fight back against Arizona. And not only did they fight back, they actually won.
Yeah, Okuda got an interception against. Yeah, he got an interception yesterday.
Yeah, Kyler Murray had a bad game. It happens. It is what it is. But the ultimate strong 2-0 Arizona Cardinals finally show some cracks in the armor. So they can be beat. But they're still a good team. They still did their thing. They beat the 49ers when they were completely healthy. So that's impressive on its own. So they should be fine. There's not much to say. But the Detroit Lions, when healthy offensively, can put up points on anyone. I mean, they didn't put up that many points. 26 is not a lot of points. But hey, the way the Arizona defense is playing, they were putting up them points. But they did kind of get exposed, and I was waiting for that. But it happened. But I want to run something by you real quick, bro. Something real quick. That's interesting. I think we talked about it last night, but I don't know if I remember. Do you think if Arizona were to go on to the season and win, 10, 11, 12 games somehow, and let's say Detroit goes 5-11 like we originally predicted, do you think this win against a good Arizona team, who if they wind up being 10 wins or higher, will you think that will save Matt Patricia's job?
I wouldn't put it past the Ford family because this is the same family that's
You
fired
wouldn't, right?
Jim Caldwell after 9-7 and a playoff berth. So they're so unpredictable. They actually like Patricia. So I don't know why,
It's
but
not
they
entirely
like
out
Patricia.
there for
So
that to happen.
if that scenario were to happen, they probably said, "Well, we beat the Cardinals though," so that kind of something. It's dumb. It's totally stupid. But hey, that's the Ford family for you, and that's why the Lions are where they are because they suck.
It's not far fetched. So again, our old saying goes, crap franchises do crap things, and the Lions are a crap franchise, are they
Yeah,
not?
the Lions.
All right, man. So I'm gonna give you a choice. You want to go through the tie, or do you want to go through the second straight choke job?
The tie. Let's do the tie now. Let's do the tie. Let's do the
Okay,
tie.
the floor is yours.
The Philadelphia Eagles. They're absolutely horrible. They're absolutely horrible. Oh my goodness. I know the Cincinnati Bengals showed some type of improvement defensively, but this was ugly. I mean, like, ugly. Carson Wentz, people talk about, oh, he's wild, he's wild, he's wild. No, give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Carson Wentz has looked horrible all 3 games. In all 3 games, he looks horrible. I just couldn't even. Come on, man. This when the Bengals punted the ball with like 3 minutes left in the overtime, I'm like, come on, you guys surely should be able to kick a field goal to end this game, get a win, something like that. But couldn't even do that. Couldn't even do that. And it's like, yo, what's going on? They're not good. We try to blitz. Oh, they have no offensive line, a lot of injuries. This is bad. Even without the injuries, y'all bad. This is a bad football team. And the worst thing is that I picked them to win the division. No, I didn't. Cowboys win the division.
Well, it's looking like you might be right at this rate. Dallas looks like the best out of the worst division by far. My dumbass picked Eagles, so I'm looking real stupid right now. Absolutely great. I can't wait to dive into the tape on this specific game because I need to know how this happened. I need to know it. Because the last few times I've seen Carson Wentz play, he's been god awful. He's been missing throws that are right there. I know for the first week, he had no offensive line. All right. But then the excuse for last week was what? Because you played the Rams? That's not an excuse to not play well. He was garbage last week too. Missed like 6 different throws that would have turned the game around. So now I want to see how he messed this up because I'm tired of giving people the benefit of the doubt, especially guys who don't deserve it like him. So I don't know what to say about it. And funny is that Miles Sanders actually had a pretty decent game. So I don't know why I didn't give him the ball more. Zach Ertz looks washed. So I don't know what's wrong with him. And on the other side, Joe Burrow's looking more comfortable as we see. And Tyler Boyd absolutely obliterated the entire Philly defense. Mind you, Darius Slay was there, and I guess he just got torched or he wasn't getting thrown out. I don't know what happened there. But for some reason, cornerbacks don't play well at Philadelphia. Don't understand why. Don't know why that's a thing. The last one I remember playing well was Asante Samuel. I don't know what's up with that. But I guess we'll be moving on to the choke job, I believe. Yeah, the choke job. So I got a question. Does Nick Foles just start playing hero ball right after he takes someone's job, or
I think he takes that ultimate underdog role seriously. He has to, because first of all, the fact that he lost the job in off season to Trubisky in the off season was terrible right then and there. But did people really think that this was gonna last very long? Trubisky was gonna be he's always like Trubisky fourth quarter poppy and Trubisky fourth quarter probably against the Giants and got benched. He was so horrible against an even worse Atlanta team. Who this is horrible. This is so bad. I think Trubisky's done. This is it for him. I don't see how they can go back to him. They can go back to him. I think he's done. Poor Mitch. This is not that good. But then
poor
also
Trubisky? What a
another
joke.
thing too. I mean, like you know what I mean. But and also, I want to see if Nick Foles can continue this run to be consistent. Because let's be honest, every time he takes over for a team, he has maybe 1 or 2 games with a new team that's not Philadelphia, and he just sucks. He just sucks, or he gets hurt. He just not gonna play well. Who knows? I gotta see more from that. I'm gonna see that he's just not just a Philly guy who's just gonna play well in Philly, one place in Philly, one system, and that's it, and then completely complete garbage in another team. I don't know. So we gotta see how that goes from there. But good win for the Bears. They're 3-0. No one expected them to be 3-0. I know I didn't.
I definitely didn't either, but at least I'm happy that I was right that Nick Foles is gonna start week 4. I called it. Let's go on the Atlanta side.
We have to address that elephant in the room again. We're gonna say this every single week until this happens. Dan Quinn, why is Dan Quinn not fired? Why is he not fired? Why? I don't even want Arthur Blank to ask me that question because you're an idiot. Arthur Blank is an idiot. I just want to know why is he still fired? Why is he not fired? Did you know? Well, everybody knows now. He's been all over ESPN and all that other stuff. That the Falcons are the only team in the last 20 years to blow 20 or more point leads in a season, but they're the first team to do it consecutively. Like, you know how hard we have to be to blow 20-point leads in consecutive weeks? To arguably, Chicago's not really that good of a team, to be honest. Chicago's okay. They're okay. And then the Cowboys are garbage. I don't care what he says. Cowboys are garbage. They're not a good football team either. So he blew 20-point leads to 2 subpar teams. Dan Quinn, why does he still have a job?
Yep, I definitely agree. Yeah, I can't answer why he still has a job. Don't get it.
I feel so bad for. Actually, I don't feel bad for Julio Jones or Matt Ryan because they both signed long-term deal to stay with that horrendous franchise. But Julio deserves better. Julio deserves better. If they're smart, which they're not, I would put Julio in the market and try to see what you get for him to start over. But this is not good. Cabrera is good too, so he can stay there if he wants to. But Julio Jones deserves better. It's horrible. The Falcons' defense is so horrendously bad. I'm like, geez, you and I can make catches off of them. You and I can do that. That's how bad their defense is. It's so disgraceful. And isn't Dan Quinn a defensive genius? What like people call him? He's so good on defense. He said, "Oh, he made the Legion of Boom." I can't stand when these coordinators get so much praise.
I love that transition. So, I love that you mentioned Dan Quinn and a defensive fake guru, blah, 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 whatever, Legion of Boom. Because let's transition to the Seahawks and Cowboys game now, shall we? So, I think Seahawks and the Falcons have a very similar problem. Since both of their defenses are absolutely god-awful, there is a common trend to that. And I think it's coaching. Because the Seattle defense actually has some pieces. They did not trade for a corner. He didn't play yesterday. They did not trade for a top corner that came from the Washington football team in Quandre Diggs. They did not trade for Jamal Adams. They got some talent. They traded for it, and they didn't trade for it to look this bad. They are absolutely horrific on defense. And the talent can't be the problem. It can't be Russell Wilson's contract. Because there's talent on defense regardless. So it's coaching. For some reason, I don't understand why Pete Carroll is not putting these players into position they have to be to succeed. They're not doing it. I understand that there's not much talent in the front seven, but you have Bobby Wagner as the best middle linebacker in the NFL. You just got the guys I said. Your cornerbacks aren't that bad. They're not like world beaters, but San Francisco's cornerbacks aren't world beaters either outside of Richard Sherman. And they still make things work. There's no excuse to look this bad. No excuse whatsoever. So that's on Carroll. It's the same difference in Atlanta. But at least in Atlanta, there is not that much talent. Everybody's super young. But in Seattle, there's veterans there. There's talent there. Pete Carroll has to get off his own ass and actually put these guys in a place to succeed. He's being so stubborn. Trying to play the same one system he's been doing for the past 9 years. It doesn't work anymore. I don't understand. It doesn't work anymore. It worked in Jacksonville 2017 once. It doesn't work anymore. So I don't understand why he just doesn't let it go and actually adjust to the league and adjust to the players that you have in this current roster. This defense has no business being this bad. And this continues, Russell Wilson's not going to win anything. He's having an MVP season at this rate for no Reason.
I think you mentioned you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right because I think that Pete Carroll gets a pass on a lot of things, and I don't really criticize him for certain. I mean, like they do criticize him for, they always bring up the Super Bowl 49 thing. They always bring that up, and I bring up last year how horrible that was. How he almost blew it last week against New England last week. They give him a pass. They give him a pass for almost everything. It's not a big deal for them. You're right. This defense has gotten worse. Their secondary has gotten worse, and I think they play Seattle plays they have an easy schedule coming up. They have the Eagles, the Giants, and the Jets, and I think the Redskins next 4 games. I believe the next 4 games, and not in particular order, but they're gonna have an easy stretch of games where they're gonna beat them up and everything. So it's not gonna matter anyway. But still, it's I don't know. See, I mean, even though you did pick Seattle to win, go to the Super Bowl, obviously, right?
Yes, I did.
So, you know, so the first 3 weeks of the season, they look pretty good. Just defensively is a problem. I think that you're going to see a lot more issues from them toward the end of the season anyway when they play teams like either their schedule again. But I think they're going to be okay for now. But the defense is definitely a problem and has to be addressed.
It definitely is a problem, and they had to fix that before they weren't winning anything, wasting Russell Wilson, like I said. But you want to know a crazy thing that happened the last few weeks? Seattle has allowed not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different 100-yard receiving games from 6 different receivers. Ready for this? Yesterday, it was Michael Gallup and Wilson, each getting over 100 yards. Like I said, 107 for Wilson, 138 for Michael Gallup. By the way, they all did it in less than 7 receptions, by the way. Last week, it was Julian Edelman with over 175 yards on the air, which is by far his career high. And then in week 1, they allowed 3 100-yard receivers in Atlanta. Julio Jones, Russell Gage, and Calvin Ridley. 6 different 100-yard receivers.
Really?
6. That has to be some type of record. Yes, really.
Yeah, I think it has to be. It's like really bad.
I said has to be a record. And Dallas, you're not out of this. You guys suck too. You guys did barely play. Well, you lost, so you didn't play any better. You guys are garbage too.
They are. I'm so sick and tired. It's actually another issue right there, but it's like they bloviated how this offense is so explosive. They scored 40 points against this. We scored 30. We're average. We're scoring so many points. Like we're everywhere. I'm like, oh my god, I can't watch Dallas Cowboy games. I think in the first game against the Rams, I said I can't watch Dallas Cowboy games. They're unbearable to watch, no matter how much talent they have on both sides of the ball, or lack thereof on defense. But it's unbearable to watch. It's very unbearable. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is not a good football team either. But I think
they're not. They're the same as last year.
Yeah, I think we're seeing. I'm trying to put it into perspective because I'm trying to like put the words for it, but I just can't put the words for it. The Cowboys. It's just that how they feel they're so good, but they're really not. It's not a good team, and I'm this game. Oh, I'm sorry about that, but you get this game.
There's no problem. They frustrate me too. All right, so then let's move on. Game of the week, probably because the Saints game was good, and tonight's game might be great. But we're gonna save those 2 games for tomorrow. So as of right now, game of the week, the Rams visiting the Buffalo Bills. Crazy game, even though at the end the call wasn't really the best call that should have been made to give the Buffalo Bills a chance to get that game-winning touchdown. But whatever, it is what it is. But was a little alarming, even though it could probably be explained. I can't wait to watch tape on this game also. Is that the Rams were down by a decent amount in the third quarter. How much was it?
28-3.
Okay, 28-3, and almost choked the game away. Josh Allen was absolutely sensational, really, really, really good. Got accounted for 5 touchdowns overall. It was crazy. He looks like a different person on that court and that pocket. Can't wait to, like I said, can't wait to dive into it to really see how crazy he is. But I guess the hype is real. But again, the call in the end kind of gave Buffalo the opportunity to win the game over. So I don't know how people will feel about that.
They shouldn't have been in that predicament anyway. So it is what it is. But I'm glad you mentioned Josh Allen. I'm glad you mentioned Josh Allen because he looked pretty damn good. Pretty damn good that game.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's right. Well, regardless of how people feel, whatever, that's the outcome of the game. They shouldn't have been there. You're right. They should have won this game. They should not have been in a predicament for let the referees decide it. You're right. Totally true. Well, the Rams really pretty good too. Like I know they were down and had a horrific first quarter, but they were actually pretty good at comeback. They did their thing, and I guess they're not even close to as bad as everybody thought they were going to be. A lot of people sleeping on them. I don't remember if we were. I think we had them close a little. I think maybe 500, a little more than that. So they actually even better than that. Looks like.
No, you're right. You're absolutely. You know what it is? It's just that I'm not gonna lie to you. We knew the Buffalo Bills were going to be. Well, I was wrong on two things. I said that the demise of the Los Angeles Rams was coming as much as possible, coming fast, quicker than possible. They are probably saying, we're going to be here to stay for a while because that's a really good team. The Bills,
Yeah, but the Rams point. Yeah, but keep this in mind. They did go all in. So if they did go all in, how can they really be that bad?
that's true. I just seen that. I just noticed that history tends to repeat itself. History tends to be right most of the time, and I'm like, all right, especially since last year, how people say they figured. I have a lot. They figured them all out. Jared Goff as well. He's been playing pretty well. Been playing really well. Uh, it's a good team. It's a good team. They're going to be a problem, especially in this division, in the West Division anyway. But I like what I see, even though it's a loss. But I like what I see from them anyway, and it shows that Josh Allen's the real deal. I like Josh Allen's the real deal.
Looks like he really is a big deal. Can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, it looks like I might be wrong my prediction in the first place. He actually again looks completely different. Looks like a Ryu has mechanics look good. His footwork looks good. Looks great, and I guess the Stephon Diggs pickup really did make the biggest difference, huh?
The Vikings really do miss him.
Yeah, they do miss him. Damn straight.
Yeah, they miss him.
All right, now the final game we'll cover today: the Las Vegas Raiders going to New England, which a game that took probably a little too long for our liking to become as lopsided as it became. A little worrisome, but maybe just overlooking things.
I was watching. I was watching the first half of that game. I'm watching it right, and I'm saying because remember I was criticized for disrespecting the great Josh McDaniels. I was criticized on social media for that. That's neither here nor there. The first half, the offense was completely horrible, completely lethargic. Couldn't do anything. They were horrible the first half. I'm like, really? Against a Raiders team who doesn't have best pass rush in the league. They don't have a good pass rush in the league. Not that much at all. And you couldn't, what I'm saying? You couldn't do anything first half. You couldn't do anything. I'm thinking that, oh my God, it's about to be a 17-14 slugfest in the game, how they was playing. And then, whatever. But they picked it up in the second half. I really like Sonny Michel really stepped up in this game. Sonny Michel was really good. He had like 150 yards rushing. More than that.
He did only 9 carries, but it is the Raiders' defense.
Yeah, like you should. The rushing attack, I'll give him that. The rushing attack for the Patriots for offense is showing wonders right now. I really like J.J. Taylor. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like J.J. Taylor too. He has the burst and I don't want to say the vision, but able to hit the holes with the amount of speed you need in order to really run downfield. That Sony completely lacks that. I guess those injuries he had over the years really starting to catch up with him now, unfortunately. But I do like how J.J. Taylor looks, and he might even take this job very soon. Plus, Damian Williams is in the back, so I don't know. How about the second half? What do you think about that? Because the first half was just forgettable. And remember what I talked about Seattle defense? You see how bad the passing attack was today, at least in the first half? See how it looked the week before. Why Seattle's defense is as garbage as it is. But yeah, right.
Overall, I like the way they played. They played in the second half. It's what it is. I was really planning on really destroying Josh McDaniels. Had they barely won this game by like 4 points, but they won by a decent amount, 16 points. But how they should have done. The Raiders are just the Raiders. We should have beat this. This is what should have happened. Blowing out. The game should have been over by halftime, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But they pulled it out second half, and I can't say much more about that.
Shoot, I could say plenty about that. But let's go with positives. I love how Chase Winovich is starting to jump out the screen every game. He really has improved over the year. And that strip sack early in the game to keep us in it was great. He is really coming on his own. And this is a good offensive line they played well against. So I'm proud to see that he's really making that next jump. A little worry that I have, I don't know if it's just because of Russell Wilson and what he did last week versus the crazy Hunter Renfrow catch and the end zone that basically set up their touchdown at the end of the first half, is that I don't like our deep passing defense very much. It's looking like it really slipped over the past year. And that's a problem, especially who we're going up against next week. And the Patriots are going to Kansas City next week. That's actually a problem.
With fans in the stadium, more likely. Yeah, so that's going to be tough right there.
Yeah, with fans. It's not going to be the crazy amount as it usually is. So I guess I don't think they'll make that big of a deal. But I want to say one thing about the Raiders. Maybe they're better than everyone thinks. Maybe they actually have made that jump. What do you think?
They're probably right. But there's certain games that like we got the win, but it's like, this should have been over by halftime, in my opinion. But it's just that you may be right. But the Raiders doesn't seem like they're not as bad as we thought they were. Definitely improved. We'll just have to see more from them, but overall, I think this is good. But we did a good job. I don't think I think we locked up Darren Waller for this game. We didn't see much from him, which I expect was going to happen. Which I kind of figured that Josh Jacobs would play well because you're going to throw it to. But it held them up. Overall, it was a good game, good win. Overall, so.
Yeah, a win is a win, so we'll take it any way we can get it. At least in the second half, everything got cleaned up, and then they got completely locked. I'm pretty sure Dan Waller didn't get catches till the end, when Patriots pretty much at 30, so it is what it is. Josh Jacobs is wonderful, though. I love how he plays. He's wonderful. So like I said, the last 3 games we haven't gone through yet is because we decided to just combine them for tomorrow's podcast. Usually we don't do 2 for the Sunday recap, but we're going to do 2. Last night's Green Bay against Saints game we'll talk about, and obviously the Monday night game didn't happen yet because this should be uploaded sometime 5, 6, 7 o'clock before the game, so we won't go through it, but tomorrow we will, because it's going to be a big game. Kansas City against Baltimore, I believe is at Baltimore, so it's going to be a great game to see, and I think we'll just end things right here.
All right, cool, no problem. So let's end this up. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartradio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Radio, at Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Make sure you check out the Facebook group. We're on Instagram, and we have a website at www.sportsdynastypodcast.com. Make sure you subscribe to the website so you can be notified every time we are uploading content. So, with that being said, we'll see you soon, my friend.